Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Between our visitors and our home team. So with that, let's get up to First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. For the call, we welcome in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And a glance at the tall signal caller, standing 6'6".
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it has permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team to wins.
And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25.
I'm going back to you. I'm going back to you.
2nd and 5. This pass complete to Higgins. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. A nice first down pickup on a gain of 6. Defense had a chance to get off the field here in the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Double time, double time.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Set 30 base. Here we go.
To throw on 2nd down. Lawrence got a man open. It's Ross. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Defense wins championships, baby. Watch twist.
Yeah.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. He had the option there, decided to keep it, exposed himself and fumbled it.
Yeah, and you worry about the hits he's going to take in that situation. In this case, not only does he take the hit, he coughs the ball up, as you noted.
And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field.
Let's go, D.
They'll run on first down. Akers. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
On second down, Akers, nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on third down. And coughed it up. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Looking to throw on second down. Francois. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
To throw on third down, Francois. And this is going to be incomplete. Now on fourth down, Bruce Arians will send out his field goal unit. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And his kick here is good. And the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though? when they only gave up the field goal, and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive, a little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know that.
Now the ball comes loose.
Your trip is here, baby. Your trip is here.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Come on, set. 60 yards.
Watch tight end, watch tight end. Tight right, tight right. Hey, 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 hey.
Ready, ready.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Breaks free again. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 7 yards there and a first down.
That's it, baby.
Second quarter, 2 minutes remain. 3-0 our score. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do. I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Ready. Five.
Back to the air on second down. Lawrence, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside.
Here we go, here we go. 18 Gator.
Set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
Get it.
They'll run it now out of the gun.
Let's go.
The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Here comes Grant on the return. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. So out come the Bucs now. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met. Well, touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Throwing again, Francois. And that is incomplete here. Matthews unable to hang on, and it's 3rd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now as he's on to kick it away. A good kick, 48 yards, 4 on the return. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field.
And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Lawrence. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way, and what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run.
The Bucs forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. The Broncos send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Returnable for Grant. A good return there, 17 yards. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again.
Less than 30 seconds to go in the half. Pretty good starting field position, all things considered. You'd think they definitely have time to get into field goal range.
Yes, and you get into the huddle or you come off the bench here and you've called multiple plays because you're going to say, this is how we're going to run them in order, guys. You don't have time for audibles. You don't have time to change anything. You're trying to get the ball in position to at least get 3. They've got a great shot to do it right here.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They run the counter. Akers. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That's good for a Buccaneer first, a pickup of 12 yards. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these 2 teams at the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one's been all about the defense. Just a lone field goal in that first half. And as a result, not too much available in terms of highlights. But that's okay. We've got a full half to go. And to bring it your way, let's get back out to Brandon and Charles.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these 2 teams as we come back for this second half.
The Bucs with a lead, and they'll get the football first as the second half is underway. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They'll keep it on the ground. Akers. A pretty nice gain there on the run. Gets it to the 35 after showcasing the agile move. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 3rd down, Akers, and he's going to head about the 38. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
That's a tremendous group effort there because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And shutting him off, now open field. He's at the 40. And touchdown. A big play there. 62 yards as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So that drive, 4 plays. And a pretty good run there in the end to top it off. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. To throw again. Lawrence. His throw incomplete. about the defensive effort from both of these teams that we've seen in this game?
Would you say it's like a high-stakes chess match right now?
Chess is one way to go. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, the only reason I say that, you feel like they're contemplating their moves before actually making one, and none of them being done very confidently.
Truth be told, I've never played chess, and I know that I'm not smart enough to play chess. Guys like you with your IQ, you can pull that off. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the 3rd quarter. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll run it now out of the gun. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll keep it on the ground. Akers. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beefeaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a first down.
Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And coming out now, the Broncos. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Here we go. 30 base.
It's just me and you.
Ready?
Throwing on first down. Lawrence. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Looking to throw. Lawrence over the middle, and it's incomplete. The Broncos on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 19. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now. Well, look at the clock. You're down 2 scores. Have to go for this, don't you?
And they thought that as soon as they took over possession. It didn't matter where they were on the field. They were always going to be in 4-down territory. Backed up, in good situation, it didn't matter. So they've been preparing for that on their play sheet the entire time.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. On 4th down, Lawrence. And no, it's incomplete. The Broncos unable to convert here on 4th. And the Bucs are going to take over with excellent field position to boot. So now with a 2-minute warning coming up fast, that puts a mammoth dent in their comeback hopes.
I like how you phrased it. It's a dent because there's still opportunity. They've got to get the ball back on defense, obviously twice. But guess what? This thing is not close to being over. They need to go ahead and play it out.
Not over. As you said, 2-score game still. On 1st down, Akers. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That's good for a Buccaneer first, a pickup of 12 yards.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10.
Let's get off the field, D.
They'll keep it on the ground. Akers. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his time. They get him behind the line. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. On 2nd down now, Akers. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the 1st. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. And his kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So the Broncos now down on the scoreboard. And time, a huge factor. They've yet to score all game long, but now they need to do so twice in short order to have a shot.
Ready? 10 Lobo.
Strong left. Strong left. I got you, son.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Clock running here, under 90 seconds to go.
My five.
To throw on second down. Lawrence, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. A call, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when the next defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
He's going to let it fly, and that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
Watch the screen.
He can only stop it one more time as they take the knee. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 45 seconds left to go in the game. Victory formation now for the Buccaneers. Down to a knee they go. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. So celebration down on the field for a good, hard-fought victory here. And they did it in shutout fashion. Impressive.
Would it be too bland of a statement to say they didn't have the greatest day offensively? I mean,
did enough, though. Did enough. But, yeah, you're right.
Most games, it wouldn't have been enough. So they've got to go into the locker room and applaud their defensive mates and say, guys, you really carried us today. We'll try and get you back next time. But as for today, you guys were nails out there.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Cleveland.